showtime. I hear that music. I want to do some kind of little jungle dance or something. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Garden Quilt and Art Show, where good friends become family and family is everything. Unbiased LLC, welcome in. We are having a guest today. Our treasured home, Nancy, will be joining us, and we will be doing a create along. Rooted in essential oils, thank you for coming. And welcome. Joanne Stevens, Sissy, thank you for coming. Our treasured home, Nancy, is saying hello, everyone. And Nancy, I hope you know that you can share this out to your audience. I don't know how we do that, but you I expect that you will be sharing with your channel. Just gifted. Thank you for coming. Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Thank you for coming. Sissy, Joanne Stevens. I'm surprised I can even ring this silly bell because I was in the garden for 3 hours this morning. Oh my goodness. I have rotator cuff issues and back and everything else. So I wore that chair off, that chair out, walking back and forth to sit on it and rest. I guess I'm doing this so that you can see I put that quilt up that I was trying to show you on Thursday. But first, I want to thank all of you who are here for the replay. I'd like to thank those in the bushes, of course, the moderators, our technical director, Dolores, who is in the chat. She's in the chat. She's not sitting in the back, and she's just enjoying it. Our treasure home said, I posted it in the post, which used to be the community tab. I don't know what's going on because I binge watch. I try to relax on the day that I go live in the afternoon. I binge watch so many channels, tried to give the thumbs up, and it wouldn't click. It wouldn't click. It would not let me click. Tigsy, thank you for coming, and welcome. So I want to do some chit chat because I just noticed something. Okay, you can click the share button on top right screen if you want to share, Nancy. So, okay, back to the comments. This is like a two hand band thing, trying to look at the chat and do everything. I hope I said hello to all 10 of you here and that I have 10 thumbs up. Let me check and see. Go out and come in. I thank those of you who are here, and I thank you for giving the thumbs up when you come in. I used to wonder why people said that. And then I would get involved in the chat. I would be texting. I'd be talking to other people in the chat. Then I get to the end of it and I'm like, oh my goodness, did I give the thumbs up? So I try to give the thumbs up when I enter a chat, and I hope you guys too. Unbiased LLC, welcome back. I know that you are working in the back, and I have a flower for you guys. Dun, 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 dun. Does anybody know woo-wee, what kind of a fragrant flower and or seed pod this is? Mike is saying, hello, Mom. Hello, Mother. I talked to my mom just before the live, and she was sitting out on the porch, and she will be watching. Who knows what Auntie Ellen has in her hand? By the way, you guys, it says GQUAT Miss Ellen Pankey. That would be me. I am the chief storyteller for 6 living generations of my family. And nobody else wants to go on camera. Correct, Mike. Mike, Mike, Mike. It is an onion that I accidentally grew. I forgot it was there. This is strong. This is pungent. It's almost making my eyes water. My Yankee sister Homestead. Hola, hermana. She says, hello, everyone. Barb Brownlee. Yankee sister, you have to do a pickup because I have a lot of stuff for you. A lot. And some of it is creative stuff that you and the family could be doing. So I've never seeded an onion. I always dig them up before this stage. So this grew over there in a pot. But you guys, I am so proud to tell you, I finally got two raised beds, tin beds. I've been saving up for them for a while. Why? Because my budget is for what it's for, and the gardening stuff has to come out of extra stuff, if you know what I mean. If I have anything extra, the pollinators love onion flowers, even monarchs. I leave stuff out there. This one accidentally got broken off today. I was out there fertilizing. You could see where it's like broken in the middle, but I'm like, oh, this is where I tore it after it broke, and it's broken at the top. Poor thing had a rough life. I was actually fertilizing all the containers. I had 2 gallons of ground up eggshells and coffee grinds from the beginning of last winter. It was a lot, a lot, a lot. So, Yankee Sister said she'll be back in a minute. I want to ask you guys a quick question. Our friend Nancy is in the back from our treasured home. She's saying hi. I tried to bring her in, introduce her when she has an audience, but I think that we'll do it early today just because she's been waiting so patiently. So, everybody, put your hands together and welcome Nancy from our treasured home.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Nancy, and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I've been looking forward to this moment for quite some time, but I brought her up, you guys, early. Can I just tell you guys one thing? And it's about the quilt in back of me. On Thursday, I had a bunch of quilts on my lap, and this was part of the one that we called a shoebox quilt. Well, it's called a shoebox quilt because it was actually part of a community project where 26 people got together, in this case, put fabric in a box, and I put 10 yards in a box to make 26 blocks. I really only wanted 25, so I have like 5 blocks across, 5 down, and here I put some gold fabric between each block and a cornerstone. Well, I wanted to show you guys. I will stand up in a minute so that you can see more of it. It's a big quilt. My arms are tired, but no, it ends up that even though 26 people did this quilt, no two people did the same block. I'm actually going to stand up in this chair, beside the chair, because I hung it up for you guys so that you could mostly see it all. This is a big, 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 big quilt. Do you see all those stars? These are complicated blocks. This is a churn dash. This is a churn dash. This is a shoe fly. They're very similar, except this one has an extra stripe. There are all kinds of stars. But what I wanted to tell you about this quilt, you guys, is that out of the 26 of us, some of us were advanced quilters, some of us were just beginners, but we wanted everybody who cared to join the project. This block, I just want to show you is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And that was the most this person could do. She was a beginning quilter. And it just all made a part of the project and very, very beautiful. But if this quilt were to sell, you figure each block took, like, especially the complicated ones, and even the ones that weren't complicated, took a long time because people were just learning. This might have been her very first block. So you figure if it took 4 hours to cut the fabric out and put it together to do one block times 26 blocks, that's that's 26 people times 4. So 6 times 24, that's a lot. Let me see. 24, that's like 150 hours times, say, $25 an hour that most creators charge for their time. Then plus the time that it took to do the cornerstones and the lattice, two borders, cutting the fabric. This would be like a $3,500 quilt. It is very unique. And then I want to tell you guys a funny story. So I went outside. I was in the garden watering all morning, and I came inside and I hung it up so I could show it to you. And look at this. The house is upside down. That was in the middle. So if you wanted to take a screenshot, turn your picture around. But before Thursday, I will turn it the right way, and so that you can see it. And it's actually a sampler quilt. What is a sampler quilt? A sampler quilt is when you have a sample of many types of different blocks. So I just wanted to say that. And now I would like to introduce Nancy. I wanted to bring her up a few minutes early so that she could enjoy it. So, Nancy, I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
our treasured home, tell us about yourself and your channel.
Alrighty. Thank you, Auntie Ellen. My name is Nancy, and Anastasia is the other half of our channel. She was born with a dairy allergy in 2013. So the channel started with about dairy allergies and how we ate that way because people will always ask. So, and the original name was Ash's Treasure because it's Anastasia's initials. And then I wanted to expand, so I came up with Our Treasure Home. So, what do we treasure in our home? Do we treasure ourselves, our families, the things that we have? Most importantly, do we treasure our salvation through the Lord Jesus Christ? And so I was like, I wanted to expand, so I changed the name. I got bit by a tick in 2017, and
Oh,
it turned into what's called alpha gall. So I couldn't have beef products, pork products, anything that had 4 legs. And that lasted 7 years. And I went to the allergist last month to check on it because the insurance finally got to where I had insurance. And I'm telling you, it was only the Lord that sit there and He healed me because it's all gone. So
amen.
now I can
Amen.
have a hamburger, and it helps so much with the grocery bill. But I'm still going to talk about the alpha gall because people don't know. The only thing they know is Lyme disease from a tick bite. There's several other things that people can get. But we also do crafts and gardening. I'm learning. I would say I'm a beginner sewer because I am still learning different things of sewing. I crochet, of course, the cooking, um, like I said, the gardening, and I also do a Bible study, and I do devotions also. So I like doing a wide range of things, not just one thing. And sometimes that's my downfall because besides sewing, it's crocheting and cross stitch and other arts and crafts too. So it's just not one thing I like to do. I like to do many. And let's see. we've been doing it 5.5 years. This November comes up to our 6th year. We'll be doing YouTube. So and I was like, what am I going to do this year for the celebration? So I'm thinking of different little things to do about the anniversary coming up and all. And some days, some weeks I make a lot of videos. Some weeks I'm just busy doing other things. And with Christmas just around the corner, it's like, oh my goodness, it's July. And then it's like, it's already in the middle of July. What's going on? Why is it going so fast? But most of it, I'm going to make a lot of things this year for Christmas, between like pillows and blankets and quilts, and crochet some toys for Anastasia, and just things I already have here that I know I need to use up and make, and then I can go for presents. So we're going to have some fun.
Yes. So I saw a couple names come in. Gardening is great. I think I said hello, Christina. If there's anybody I missed, you saw me going all over like with my eyes. And this thing is going so fast. Christina, Barb Brownlee. Hello to everybody. Hello to you who are in the bushes as well. And Tigsy likes the quilt, a very nice quilt. These are the types of quilts that I normally make for shows. They're kind of complicated, but we are not going to talk about quilting today. We are going to talk about making a neck bone pillow. Most people call it a dog bone pillow because it looks like a dog bone. Nancy and I are both making them. And if I can tell you guys a little bit about it, so you can get a free pattern online on any of the, you can Google it and find free patterns for a pillow. And what it does, it supports your neck. Most pillows you find that support your neck. Why is that important? Because your head is heavy and it's the source of a lot of problems for your neck and back. But then you're going to find out that when you have, and most professional pillow makers charge like $135. You see them, I bought some of those and they didn't even help because they did something else in the back of the neck. So there would be like three, oh, here's the third piece. When you print it out, you get like three pieces like this, and you can either put it on a fold and cut it three times. I'm not sure if this is a pattern that Nancy had or if this is how she did it. I'll let her explain her method. And it says cut three on the fold. And normally quilters use a 1/4 inch seam, but this one you want a little bigger because it's going to be pulled on and jerked on. I've already had to repair one of mine once. I pulled the end out and the middle somehow came apart. So what I did is I printed three of these out. And what did I use for a pattern? You can, I actually trace my patterns, you guys. For those of you who use a paper pattern, never cut on your actual pattern because you'll find that you think you're cutting close, just like the marker, just like the marker slipped, your scissors will slip as well. And you'll find out you'll end up with funny shaped pillows. They'll be cut, they won't be symmetrical. So this is what I did. And oh, what did I use? Can you see how thick this paper is? It's really thick. This is some watercolor paper that I got years ago on from Walmart. I paint. This is one of the cheaper watercolor papers. So I put a line down the middle just for reference. I put this on the fold, but then I took two more pieces, and because I didn't want to cut out three times, and I just taped it together with masking tape and made one big one. It depends on the type of how much fabric you have, because this takes a lot more fabric than you guys think. It takes like 2/3 of a yard of pad of fabric, and I put straps on mine. So the straps really take a lot of unseen fabric. You're folding it and sewing it. It also takes unseen time. But what do I do with the little loops on the end? I will show you after Nancy and I start sewing. I'd like to see her fabrics and her tell us her process.
I'll be right back.
Okay, it's okay. I see Anastasia. So, you guys, I will, while she's taking care of her family, she did say that her son would be coming in, and people have families. That's just life. You don't get to play YouTube in a vacuum. So, what I am doing is standing up. I got all my squats in today. I have a chair in the garden. They call them sit to stands. I must have gotten up and out of that chair 40, 50 times. So, one thing I wanted to show you about making these pillows, first, I will show you what not to do. I make straps for my pillows, but never make one this long. This is an example of what not to do. I make mine, I don't know, 5, 6 inches. It's doubled. And what this is the holder when you put the pillow in back of your neck. Instead of having to grab it with your hand, you see how clumsy this is? I'm clumsy anyway because my arms hurt. So you put your fingers in this side and you get it just where you want it, whether you're in the bed. My granddaughter's husband likes to sleep in his like reclining chair with it. If you want to take it on a plane, you can do it, but you can put another hook. I would never walk with mine around the airport just swinging, everybody breathing on it, coughing on it, fizzling, farting on it. No, not on my pillow. And what else I wanted? I didn't say that, Mom. I didn't say that FARTING word. We weren't allowed to say that. Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, and Chat Maria Graham, welcome in. You love my shirt? Thank you. I was a guest speaker last summer at the International Festival of Arts and Ideas, and this group is a woman who has a podcast about women over 40 who reinvent themselves. And everyone knows that I am a reinvention rebel. I have reinvented myself several times through the seven. A decade is 10 years. Yeah. I was thinking about the 4 score and 7 years ago. So a score is 20 years. Yeah. I've been a reinvention rebel probably every 15 years of my life. But what I wanted to show you about making these pillows is this. You can use scraps. It doesn't have to, I just wanted purple. I had a scrap of this one, I had a scrap of this one, and I had a scrap of this one on this pillow. Another pillow. Oh, and this one is really long because my shoulders hurt, and I intended this to be my travel pillow and put it in back of my neck on the plane and not have to reach up so far. But the reason you never put a long loop on these pillows is because you never want it to be a choking hazard. You know how you see different toy makers have recalls for different items because of child choking hazard? A child who loves this pillow, everybody loves these pillows. And by the way, you make them as firm or as not firm as you like. I don't like a really hard pillow. So I intentionally made mine, this one, kind of mushy, especially when you travel. I'll tell you something. So for my 75th birthday, I went to Arizona to Auntie Joanne's house, and for a birthday gift, my daughter upgraded my ticket, mine and Mr. Hershey's, from coach to first class. And you guess what? The seats were different up there. They had built in padding on the seat. So I really didn't even need a pillow at all. But I like having my own pillow wherever I go. So I was out at Auntie Joanne's house and I was making pillows. I bought a 10-pound box of polyfill. By the way, if you're making a pillow, you're going to use a minimum of 10 to 12 ounces of polyfill. Lord, I'm trying to kill myself, hang myself with this thing. So this one is a little bit firmer. Guess what? I like them both. This one I was supposed to use on my bed. And again, I didn't have 3 pieces of this fabric. So I used this one. This one was actually prettier, but I didn't have 3 pieces of this either. So what I do on this one, I'll put this one on my bed and put it between my knees or my back. And I put this one, this mushy one, on my head. So let's go over to, does anybody have any questions about, does anybody have any questions? I'm going to the bottom. Ooh, I was way from the bottom. Just a minute. Butter Roll Boutique, hello. Lorraine T. Hola, Imrana. Thank you for coming. Thanks, all of you. The Everyday Life of an OCD-ish chick. Thank you. I thought about, oh, she said I don't need the headphones. She always tells me that. I'll keep them nearby, especially since I can never find my Bluetooth earpiece. It was gifted to me by my cousin brother years ago. But guess what? It's black. I don't see black. One of the reasons I use one screen, one camera is because black is hard for me to see. If I put this down, I'll probably have to ask you guys, where is it? Does anybody remember where I put it? Sometimes Maria Graham will call me. She called me after the live on Thursday because I dropped something and she wanted to know if it was my cell phone. It was my ice pack because I had an ice pack. I had some medical stuff done and my face was swollen. It's still swollen a little bit. So I had my ice pack, but I had a different one, a bigger one, and it fell. It fell. Oh, this is really good. I put this on here and it stays right in place. If you get headaches or anything, it's really good for that. Or migraines, you're hot, you put it at the back of your neck. Oh, hey, sis, Miss Shirley OG Gardner. Okay, you guys, so let's go over to the sewing machine and sew a neck bone, dog bone, pillow. Has anybody else made any? Put a 1 in the chat if you have ever made any. I'll put a 1 for Dolores. I don't mean Dolores. I think Dolores is going to be making one though. That was a Freudian slip, Dolores. Nancy, our treasured home, has made more than a 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in the chat because I have made, I don't even know how many 10-pound boxes I have used of this. And people who have one want another one. So Dolores said I'm safe without my headphones. Sometimes she's in the back. She's not in the back. And that was my security blanket. What you figure? What you figure? Okay, so up we go. And slowly I turned, inch by inch, step by step. So you see all the stuff in this little tiny studio. But I get it done. I get it done. For those of you who sit, I sit on a steel a steel chair. Why? Because it doesn't roll away. I have been sitting on this chair, especially when I had my arrow garden, right? Had my arrow garden. I was trying to do a video for you guys. And guess what? I missed the chair. I missed the stupid chair and fell on the floor. Pop goes the weasel. Round and round the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey stopped to pick up his hat. Pop goes the weasel. So that's what happened to me. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so I will put this over here. I got a cute new little pink. A new little pink. I know when I turn my face around, you can't hear me. Why? Because I play my videos back after. So I have taken the liberty. I have a brother who just got out of the hospital and a sister. If they see this or somebody tells them, I'm making a purple one for my baby sister because she has a quilt that I made her that has some purple in it. So this was a piece of butterfly fabric, and I bought it just to make pillows, so I have enough to have 3 pieces. So what I do is this. I cut the 3 pieces, and because 3 pieces are here, I pin them together so that they don't get lost. I have a lot of stuff, and I sew 2 and 3 and 4 pillows at the same time. I always sew 2 things at the same time so I can keep assembly lines sewing them. But mine, I fold it in half this way, and I make a mark, and I put a pin in the middle. I'll show you why in a minute, because that's where you're going to stop sewing. I fold it in half this way, and I make a little mark, and I put a pin in it. And the mark can be anything. It could be with a pencil. You don't have to make a mark if you don't want to. You can just use pins. You can do whatever you want. Miss Shirley OG, hello sis. I watched you the other night. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell you, that was one of the videos. I had you on in the background. I watched the entire replay. Okay, so what we're going to do is, where this pin is in the middle, I left like a little 3 inch. I'm going to leave a 3 inch opening here, and I'm going to sew. I have already pre-pinned the handles at the halfway mark where I know I'm going to stop sewing. So mine is going to have handles in it. So I'm going to start and sew this half and go to a point, and then leave a blank and go to the other side. Okay? And I will show you how that works. Yes, you can wash those. Joanne Stevens is the queen. She is the queen of doing laundry. She's the queen of doing laundry. Her house is so perfect. Her house is so perfect. I just have to say this. I vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. I try to clean up a little bit when I'm there. Then when I come back, I found out my sister has gone over it because she has those neat little lines in the carpet. Like when you go to those fancy hotels and they vacuum their way out of the room. That's how my sister does it. That's how my sister does it. And yes, Yankee sister, but I'll tell you, I just throw mine in the washer. That's probably why I had to repair it, because it got caught up with the handles or something. But yes, and just like you should wash your pillows, you're going to be slobbering on this pillow, you're going to be sweating on it. You have to wash them. When you change your bed, you should change your pillows, your pillowcases. That's how you change your pillow. That's how you change your pillow. So, as usual, I normally sew with a neutral colored thread. I found out you can't see my face at the same time, but you will see me sew. So, again, I'm going to start here, sew up to the first pin, then I'll stop and go over to the second pin. Why? Because I have to leave a space to stuff this one. And you only have to do it on one side. So because I have the handle here, you're going to see me go back and forth several times. And I know to stop, to stop where this pin is. So I'm sewing with a stitch length 2.5. The width is on 0. Good thing I checked because I had some type of fancy stitching on, but I want to sew just a straight stitch. So I put the straight stitch on. Oh, please hold your Auntie Joanne, you can come to my house. Karen's little garden. Auntie Joanne is one of those people that visit. Your house looks better when she leaves than it did when she came back. I remember one house I lived in. I don't know which one, and she was in the guest room, in the guest bathroom. She was on top of the sink cleaning the mirror. The top of it. My house was so thankful, so thankful. Well, I'm going to sew this side. You hear that thick chugging along? I'm going to do it like 5 or 6 times just because this pillow, this purple one's going with to my baby sister. See, I knew something sounded funny. So the edge of this was folded back because that's how you set your finger too. You look up, trying to look at the TV. So what I'm doing is this. Part of sewing always involves unsewing. Especially when you're on camera, everything goes wrong. So I'm just using these little snips. I could use a seam ripper, and which I probably should do because I sewed the seam. 1 second, please. I sewed the seam down, so it's just a couple of stitches, but you always double check. It's just part of life, part of everything. Just like cooking, you don't just put it on and walk away for 5 hours. You go and you check it in between. So I'm unsewing all those times I went across there, right? Except I didn't get them all. So what I'm going to do, it's like if you mess up cooking, there's always a way to fix it. I will make a little thicker seam and make sure that I cover it. So instead of a 5/8 seam, I mean a 3/8 inch seam, I will make a 5/8 inch seam, which will make the pillow a little bit thinner. But you see how many times I went over it, like 5 or 6 times. So I'll just make this one thicker. No harm, no foul. And you can make yours once you make a couple of these. Actually, I wanted to start on the other side, but this is good. It's actually funny because this was not the side that I usually, this is the part I usually do second. So, I'm sewing around the first half. And Nancy, our treasured home, will be back whenever she finishes. She's with family, and it's dinner time there. She's in Ohio. So I went across there several times. Do you have to do that on all pillows? No. I did it because I put the straps on, and the straps would get pulled on a lot. Are there any questions? Auntie, you don't need. Oh, okay. At the bottom. Our church at home said she will be back in a few. Nikki, Joanne Stevens comes to the DC area. We actually lived there for a long time. My first house is in the DMV. In fact, it's less than 5 miles from where you currently live. So I like to snip the corners as I go. Why? Because I'm like Nikki, I'm OCD-ish. So you can use big scissors, little scissors. You have to be careful with big sharp scissors because it'll cut through everything. So I'm snipping the curves on the pillow. Why? Because it makes this thick seam bend better. And this is one of those lucky things that you don't have to iron in the middle of. Like with quilting, you have to iron. You don't have to make this many snips. Make as few or as many, but you will want to snip the curves. So I'm snipping away, snipping away, snipping away. I don't know. I don't remember. So, you guys, guess what? I got the tin beds. I started talking about that before, and they got filled. Oh, I didn't cut that, did I? I got them filled. Today I went out there, for those of you who came in later, and I fertilized it. I put all that bone meal in there and crushed coffee. This one is a thick one. I'm going to cut you with the big boys. Okay, so I knocked the pin out on this side, but there should be one right here in the middle, and I will show you guys in just a minute. So this third, it's only three seams. It's only three seams to make this pillow. 1, 2, 3. So I see Nancy will be joining us in a second. Are you ready, Nancy? Put a okay. So welcome back. And
Hello.
where are you going to start on your pillow?
Well, I've got one cut out, and I've watched some videos.
You guys caught me. I was going to look for my earphone, but guess what? It was around my neck. Okay, Nancy, take it away. Okay,
All right.
so show us what you're going to be doing.
So
And
with this one, I'll start from one end, goes, I'll sew to here, skip it, and I'll finish around to the end, and then I'll connect my other piece.
yes, and that's the correct way to do it, you guys. Or I won't say correct. You do it your way. That's the way I usually do it. But I was running my mouth and I forgot. Forgot. I
I
did
did sew,
down. Ouch.
I have one sewn, and I haven't stuffed it yet, but even though this little spot is still not sewn in the middle, it,
Yes.
it won't come apart. So
Oh.
I've hemmed it really good.
So to show you guys what I'm doing, you see this on mine? My strap is on the inside. Did this pillow come with a strap? No. That's something Auntie Ellen made up. Why? Because she's like that. That's what she does. So now I'm connecting on mine the third side. So which means that this is the second seam. The pillow only has three seams. So the next sound you will hear will be Nancy's chugging along and me sewing my other part along. A funny thing, my sister. Oh no, I wanted to tell you guys while Nancy's doing that and doing her first scene. So Auntie Joanne came to my house when I lived up the street, and my mother came to visit. So and my dad's nurse at the time he had a live-in nurse. So she, whenever the family came, she came. So Cassie said, "Your mother left you a note inside." I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the note. I'm looking for the note. And then my sister Joanne says, Mommy left you a note. I'm looking for the note. At the bottom of the staircase, my mother put on the mirror, wash me. Well, no, dust me with her fingers. She put, or no, wash me. Then on the table, she put dust me. That was hilarious. It wasn't even that dusty or cloudy. It was just at the bottom of the steps, and it was an antique mirror, and they were being mean to me. There's so many funny family experiences. So, you guys, we're sewing right sides together as you usually do when creating clothes or other things. You do the right sides together. Feels like my allergy wants to act stuck. She said busted. Oh, my mother will bust your chops. She'll tell you. Mommy does not have cuss, cut cards. So I'm taking this out of my ear again so that I don't choke myself. Okay, you guys, hold your questions 1 minute, please. So I'm going up to the half that I didn't sew, and I'm going to sew it. And I have to remember that I made an extra thick seam because of my boo-boo over there. Oh, somebody asked me about that, about sewing when you're going live. If you want, you can put, I have, oh, sorry, I have this handmade, a handmade placemat, but I also put a couple rounds of that rubber rug stuff underneath it. So it acts like a little buffer, especially when you're sewing over thick things. This one isn't really thick. So, but I'm still backspacing. This is the opening that I'm going to leave. So, oh, there you are. There you are. My favorite, drop something on the floor. Here are my handy dandy snips where I filed them on the floor. Right on the floor. I don't have to worry about those getting lost. Snip, snip. So now I'm sewing the other part of the opening that I normally do first. This time I got it backwards. And oh, what I forgot to tell you is when you sew the first seam, you fold it back so that you don't catch it. I usually put a pin on both sides, but I was talking out of my mouth and forgot. So now I'm going to the other side. Sewing, you always pull your threads to the back. Why? So they don't get tangled under the needle. I'm going to leave a big opening. Okay.
Alrighty.
And then you can pin it to death like you do when you're quilting, or you can just sew with your fingers. You can sew as fast, as slow, whatever you like, whatever floats your boat. You see, I stop and look. Why? Because life happens and you don't know if something messed up or not. So it always helps to double check. So I'm stop sewing in the middle of this pillow where I folded it in half. We'll take your questions in 1 minute. Working so hard over here. I'm working up the skin. Okay. So what I did on this side, I stopped in the middle, put it on my chest, and I sewed up to where the pin was. I left an opening. Then I sewed around the other side. And what do I do now? I do what I did on the first seam, snipping the curves. Snip, snip, snip. Are there any questions? I'm way up in the chat. Now, how that full of construction doesn't make sense. It's 1/3. Hi, Francesca. Welcome in. We are making a neck bone pillow. Nancy, our treasured home, and I. And I think we started about a half hour in, so you can go back to like a half hour. Actually, it's not a half hour in now. We started about, I guess, quarter after, something early, or maybe not.
Something like that.
Over here on this chat, I don't have a mouse. What I actually use to put my computer on when I'm recording is a tall kitchen stool. A tall kitchen
I'm
stool
laughing because I use
about the size of the laptop. It's actually a pretty big laptop. It's about 15. Rita's Ruth. Hello and welcome. you for a very long time. You guys, Rita's Roost is a quilter, and she has a long arm machine, and she does a lot of long arming over there. She lives on a farm, cooks, she cans, she ferments. I do too. I don't very much. I live in the community. I live in a senior handicapped apartment. I go to visit the family often, but and it's a I don't cook when I cook. I try to cook a little bit, but it's always too much. Sometimes they just bake things and put it on their door. Sorry, you guys. I'm thinking around the second thing. Again, this pillow only takes 3 minutes to make it. I want you to see in real time, like if people say they charge 20, 30, whatever dollars for a pillow, I want you to see the work that goes in it and the actual time because you already know that it takes 2/3 of a yard of fabric, so that's like $15 worth of fabric and 10 to 12 ounces of fiber fill. Fiber fill is expensive. I was in Arizona and I ordered some fiber fill for the first pillow, and I think it was like $13 to $15 for one pack of. I'm like, oh, I'm not going out like that. So I got the 10-pound box, and I made like 6 pillows while I was out there. Hello to anybody I didn't see. Rita's Roost said, I actually have Nancy's swap block in my hand right now.
Oh, wow.
Stashing on it. Oh, that's cute. You guys are swapping. I just, Rita's Roost, in the beginning of the chat, I showed them a show where it was kind of a block swap, but with 26 people. And I ended up making a sampler, you guys. So I am going to the third seam and sewing it from midway half all the way around to the other half mark. And I will check in 1 minute to see if I have any questions
Alrighty.
that I need to answer. Oh, you guys. Thank you, Dolores. By the way, you guys, I'm 48 away from 2000. I will be doing giveaways. Some of you who are interested in sewing and whatnot, I have a lot of gadgets. I don't use them all. I have so many different ironing devices. I have the solid wool ironing pad that I use with different ironing pads. I have some ironing pads that are handmade. This one is handmade. It's actually in denim. I had something like this under the bottom and some batting. And I use one of the smaller portable irons. I also have this tiny iron. When I go places with my embroidery machine, I take this small one for my embroidery applique, and it fits into the other things that I have for carrying them, and it's not that heavy. I have other wooden irons. I showed you guys last week, but the next giveaway I have for those of you who were interested, I'm One of these, and this is a different wooden iron. We don't get up everything. So this lady from Greenland Quilting was using, and you just put it down and you roll it on the seam, on the seam. I'm just checking this one, checking my stitches to see where I left off. Okay, so just wanted to make sure I did leave an opening. It's here. So it's hard to see. So just so that you guys can see it, I will wooden iron it open. So don't worry, when I do the giveaway, I won't be sending this used one. I didn't use it very much. I only use it for show. I will be sending you one from Amazon, and that will be one of my 2000 family member giveaway. So I will put that back out of the way, and I will proceed. My grandma, that reminds me of something I hadn't remembered in a long time. My grandma Della, when she used to want to get us to hurry up, she used to tell us, "Make haste, child, make haste." I don't know why I remember that out of the clear blue sky. So, Auntie Ellen, will you be starting up a block swap? I have to, I would love to. I would love to do something. I have to figure out because, oh, Lorraine T said she thought it said goat in the background. Nope, this is GQUAT, Garden Quilt and Art Traditions, which is the live I call the Garden Quilt and Art Show. And if you would like to drop a link to your channel, put exclamation mark GQUAT. Okay, so now that I iron this open, for me, I usually take a small pin because it's hard to find the opening sometimes when you get ready to stuff it, especially when everything looks alike. Oh, Nancy,
Yes.
fabric. I used to have some of that in yellow and red and blue. I
Someone
put,
had sent me.
I put it on the back of a commission quilt. Oh, that was the worst story of my life that I ever did a commission quilt. The woman hated it at the end.
Oh my
She
goodness.
she hated it at the end. She told me that she wanted to take her son was an adult and he liked surfing, but she wanted to take his christening outfit and have it made into a quilt, blah blah blah. So I thought that would be cute for the waves, that blue and white. And the woman
Mm-hmm.
told me that she liked black, so I made this quilt. And she hated it. She said the most negative things. And then she was in some group in Stamford, Connecticut. And then when I put the waves on it, and I sewed the child's christening, handmade it, the christening outfit onto it. She
Right.
asked me if it was some type of voodoo thing. Hello, yes, yes, yes. I don't know if she meant it to be a racist remark or whatever. So we talked about it, and whatever I'll never forget. I think I charged, and it wasn't that much. I charged her $400 for this piece. I gave her 200 back
I don't blame you.
for all my time and everything. It's like away with you, away with you. I still own the photos because I let her keep the piece. I should have given her money and taken, but it did have her child's christening thing on
Right.
it. I didn't keep it. I did what I thought was the right thing. Jackass. No, that's not a bad word, mother. It's not a bad word. It's not a bad word. It's an animal, Mom, who's very protective, actually. People have donkeys in their yard, Mom, as guard donkeys. Jackass.
That's so funny.
I don't know why I said that. It just came out. It came out. Life happens. So I'm sewing my last seam. Of course, it doesn't take that long. We really haven't been here that long. What time is it? 7 o'clock? No, it was just the talking. It was just the talking what done it.
Oh, yes.
But what would life be without life's little stories?
You got that right.
That's what makes it fun. And that's what makes life livable. And you have to live in the moment. You can't live on YouTube clicking on stuff and whatnot. You have to live in real time. And where are you going to find an Auntie Ellen like me? Ever again. I invite you into my home. The only thing I can't do is make you some cornbread, some collards or something, oxtail soup, cornbread, butter pound cake. Those are really my specialties that everybody
I'm on
loves.
my way to your house.
Everybody in my family cooks and cooks really well. And my granddaughter and her kids all bake. My great grandson bakes. He likes cookies. My great great granddaughter has a baking business, and she makes the most beautiful baked things. She makes things I don't make. She makes chocolate covered strawberries. She
Oh my
makes
goodness.
announcements like boy girl reveals. Did I miss something?
No, I was talking about the food. Oh my goodness, it sounds delicious.
It is. It is. I don't get to cook anymore because I'm slow and I'm talking. Caitlin, Katie, Greenland Quilter, thanks for coming and welcome. By the way, you guys, Greenland Quilter Katie will be joining us Thursday, July 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for popping in, Greenland Katie. I've been watching you. I watch on the TV, and you're one of the channels I gave the thumbs up. I binge watch, and I was looking at all the beautiful sunset. Oh my lord! When I'm in Arizona, we have beautiful sunsets like that. Of course, Auntie Joanne takes the photos because I'm busy doing something, putzing around the yard, tearing up something in the house, disturbing something. Why? Because that's what I do. That's just me. I can't help it. So, and guess what, you guys? If your pillow isn't perfectly straight, if it has wrinkles in it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It will still be usable and lovable. My mother, I was talking to my mom just before. No, Mom, I didn't tell your age, Mother. I didn't do it this time. Greenland Quilter Katie. We are working on dog bone slash neck bone pillows, and we're making gifts for the holidays, whatever people celebrate. Whatever people celebrate. I celebrate Christmas. Some people celebrate Kwanzaa. Some people celebrate other holidays. Do what you love what you do, and make handmade things for loved ones. I can't think of any gift, say in the $50 to $100 mark, that I could make. She's in here, my sister Joanne Stevens. Sissy, is there anything you would like me to buy you or your husband Roscoe for the holidays? Both of your birthdays are past. Like for Christmas, would you rather have something I bought you or something I made for you? And what about the rest of you in the audience? If I were nearby, would you like me to make you something or buy something from the store? I'll tell you what. Well, I already said it in the earlier in the broadcast that you find neck pillows, nice neck pillows, pillows with nice fabric, people with clean polyfill, not some junk that was sitting somewhere that's polluted. My polyfill is new and it's sanitized and it's not touched until I go in. I have a big box right there. It's funny. I should bring it over here and open it because I don't have any open. But I wanted to show you. Oh, I was snipping all that time and you couldn't see. Okay, so I have the three seams in my pillow sewn. Now what do? I go look for the pin that I left to find the opening to turn it inside out. So here it is, and here's my handy dandy chapstick that I always keep wherever I'm sewing because there's always some type of a corner that needs to be poked out. And this weekend, before Sunday, before Monday, I have this pillow cut ready to send out, this one cut ready to send out. This one is actually an extra one, and this one ready to send out. Hopefully on Monday, or a reasonable facsimile thereof. When I used to work in a law firm, they used to always say that. It's like a term of art, like, okay, if it doesn't happen, it'll almost happen. And I've lost that little space with the hole where I'm going to stuff it. That's what happens when you sew with thread that's close to what you're working with. Lord, give us strength.
Amen.
You going, Nancy?
I'm stuffing it.
Good for you. Good for you. Me, I'm still trying to find the opening. Dun, 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 dun. How much stuffing do you usually put in yours?
Well, it depends on if I'm making it for
Same
just
here.
like a just to put on for decorations. Um, not too much. I mean, not hard, but you
Right.
know, so it a little. I don't want to say too stuff, but if it's for like a pillow to lay on or support, it's a little firmer. But if it's like for decorations, it's not going to be as firm. But if it's like a toy for Anastasia or for one of her
Oh, she might be watching. She probably
stuff,
is, knowing my girl. I know you, Anastasia, you guys, her granddaughter. Anastasia made a bunch of earrings for me, and she picked them out. I think she made some of them or most of them. For sure, she picked them out.
she picked them all out.
That's my buddy. So me, I'm still fumbling with turning it in and out. The bigger the opening, the easier it is to turn inside out, but the bigger you have to sew it. You can sew the opening closed with a sewing machine, or you can sew it by hand. Whatever floats your boat, whatever you want to do. So me, I'm still pulling this one inside out and being careful not to stick myself with this pin I left in here and the handle. Keep it from flying up. So that means the end is out. The end is out. So, Nancy, do you like
Yeah.
to sew your clothes by hand or by machine? It depends, right?
It yeah, it depends. Most of the time I'll close it with the machine, but this one I'll probably just do it by hand because just how just the way the seam is. I don't think that will be after that stuff will fit
You
fit
don't think
there.
do what?
Yeah, it's not gonna fit there, so I can sew it by machine. I'll just do it by hand.
Oh, sometimes you do by machine just to get her done, just to get her done.
Exactly.
You know, anything that's finished is a good deal. So me, I'm still stabbing mine with this chopstick. Whoop, there's opening. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, Yankee sister, you need to get that Spartan out. Lorraine T. You know, you guys, Lorraine T and Yankee sister both bought those antique sewing machines that will sew through 20 pieces of leather, literally. I have a little featherweight, but it's not as powerful as theirs. So, she sewed, but she ain't stuffed. But keep going. Show Nancy's because through the miracle of TV or video land, I have two that
That's
are
nice.
finished.
Could be stuffed a little bit more.
Two that are finished. This one is mushy with a long handle. For those who came in late, never make a handle this big. Make them half. I made this one to show for an example and to keep for myself. What you want to do is keep them short. I use them for adjusting. So this one's like 6 inches, 12 inches. So the width of a piece of fabric is usually 42 to 44 inches. When I cut a strip, I cut it at 3 to 4 inches and sometimes 5. And I fold it in half. Then I fold it in half again and I iron it down. And I make a seam on both sides. Similar similar to this. So this is the whole piece of fabric, the whole width of the fabric. And then I take the picking shears, I cut it in half. Then each half, this is what I fold and put inside for a regular pillow. Comfy, comfy. You ought to come over, Yankee sister. Joanne Stevens says she loves those pillows are fabulous. Francesca says, ooh, it's purple. I love purple. Purple, purple. I asked you before you came in, put it in a laundry bag or something. You can put it in a laundry bag. Francesca, I wash my pillow every time I change my bed. Uh, Maybe I don't change it my own self. Every time my bed gets changed, I make sure that I make sure that the pillow gets washed. These, I'm not, these are utility pillows. So you can see this one, or maybe not, I hand stitched it. See all those little stitches across there where the patient was wounded and I sewed her back up again, put her appendix back in. So that's what it looks like. That you get to, when you own one, you get to watch the replay, maybe try and make some. Everybody in the family should have one. My mother was talking about hers today because I made one. Then the family suggested. She said, "Mommy uses that all the time. You all the family pictures. What did I give it to her for? Christmas, Mother's Day, something." The no, I'm not crying, you guys. She's on her little pillow when she's on her bed. It's so cute, and she loved that butterfly fabric. So I actually saved the last little bit. I had 13 yards of it at one time. Somebody told me they wanted a butterfly slash dragonfly quilt. I bought 13 yards of this fabric. Never heard from this lady again. Yeah, yeah. So I,
Goodness.
I've been putting that butterfly fabric in bits and pieces of stuff, and I use the part of that. The reason I have that strip that I showed you that's already made is because I'll make my mother, but no two are ever alike. Angel loves the orange pillow. Angel is my sister's puppy. I made some when I was out there. And I made orange. I made some with some dog fabric. I gave one to a friend of ours with the dog fabric. And what else, Sissy? I don't remember. Maybe just orange and maybe just. I gave my brother, nope, I didn't give him one. The one I gave him had like Arizona colors, turquoise and orange and whatnot. And he was like, it was colorful. Keep yours in your recliner, Yankee sister. That's what my granddaughter's husband does. My mother keeps one in her reclining chair. She had shoulder surgery, and sometimes your arm is in an uncomfortable position with
Hmm.
rotator cuff issues. So she keeps one in her chair and one in her pillow, one on her bed. But I don't know. That one might wear out. I can tell because I made her several pillow cases with that fabric on the end. Mommy has like 10 pillows on her bed, and she has a king size bed. So there's just pillows, pillows, pillows. It looks so cute. She's on one, that little one that her daughter made her, and she's so cute. She just cuddled up on it. And then sometimes the baby, who's the baby? It's her great 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 grandson that lives in the family house, and he'll come in and get on it with Gamma. Whoever's with her cuddles next to her, and she rubs their face and touches them. Except me, she's never done that to me. She would probably smack me if I put mine up there. That's me and mommy and me. So the I have two cut out with this purple. This one has this color handles. This one is going to be purple, but it has a different color handle. It has a different color handle. These I liked because I had a lot of this fabric and it has leaves in it. And a lot of people are gardening or gardeners. And this one, I just made a neutral color because it's going to someone I just met and I didn't know. But I put the handle with the leaves on it. It's like her husband's pillow is going to be. So you got, oh my gosh. Is that a super sticker? No, no. I almost accidentally sent one to myself. Duh. Pushing buttons. You guys, I'm awful. I was it we have a family chat, like with 12 of us. If you need to reach the family all at one time, you can FaceTime or do the family chat and send one sentence. I made it home safely. Everybody knows you got home safely or something. I'm in the middle of the night poking stuff and mom, people are saying, hello, Mother Pankey. That would be you, Mom. Ego Amote. She told me that earlier, and when she was out on the porch. But I forgot what I was saying about pushing buttons. I took myself out of the family chat and I couldn't get back in. I stayed on the phone with Apple for 3 hours. 3 hours. And you know what they had to do? All the pictures, all of everything that's been in that chat for, I don't know, a couple of years, we had to leave that chat and start a whole new chat that they could
Oh,
invite every single person into. Technology. So now
no, no.
I put my glasses on. Don't touch Jack. Don't touch Jack. They're like, Nana, stop touching things. Oh, one other thing I accidentally did. Oh my God. I have one person on my Cash App that I send money the most. I was pushing buttons without my glasses. And guess what I did?
You sent them money.
I blocked them.
Oh, you.
I accidentally,
Oh my goodness.
and I can't figure out how to unblock them. So when I see them, I will just give them my phone and I will give them my phone and have her unblock herself so I can send her money and pay her. Pay her for all the hours she spends retwisting my new locks. Ah, oy vey. Oy vey.
Oh goodness.
I'm special. I'm special. So, Nancy, we
Yes,
know one of two people that you're giving that to. How many of those are you planning on making? You told me that you bought a 5 pound bag of polyfill. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is a, I'll let you see yours if you let me see mine. I'll get mine because I actually need to open it. The reason I'm not stuffing the pillows, you guys, because I don't have the box open. Don't, don't. I don't need a commercial break because it's right here. But I am 5 feet 5.5 tall. Ugh, can you? Oh, I can't even hold this big thing up. Ugh, it's heavy. I'll put the camera on it. Actually, what I'll do, well, what I'll do is this, backing up, beep, beep, beep. Put my backup lights on. Can you see this thing, you guys?
oh yes.
Oh my gosh. Let's stab it up. Let's stab it up because it's funny how big. Hold your questions 1 minute. Auntie's got a knife in her hand. Oh, brother. Okay, I'm stabbing it open. Keep going, Nancy, and watch your hands. Don't watch mine. Okay. Actually, why don't I put this on the floor? Woo. We were fighting with it in Arizona too. The way they had this one put together. So
Oh
excuse my
yeah.
guys, and the way I'm sitting on ladylike. I'm trying to open this big bag of box of polyfill so I can stuff these 4 pillows for Monday or a reasonable facsimile thereof. But watch what's going to happen, you guys. Actually, I'm going to put it over here and sit unladylike because this is going to be one of those pop goes the weasel moments. So it's all compressed. Watch this. it starts swelling up by itself. Can you see this thing growing?
Makes me think of one of those beds that it's rolled up, and then when you cut it, the kind of just brings back up to itself.
It's like,
Foam
okay,
mattress.
it's going to keep doing this until it's almost as tall as me. Look at this.
Oh
So I just
wow!
takes it out, but it's so soft and fluffy. But I won't do that on camera. I have some stuff, but I wanted you to see that'll be gone before you know it. I won't even have my holiday pillows done. Everybody wants one or two. I bet. Hey, K. Renee's Garden. Hello, 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 and thank you, and welcome. Ring a ling a ling. The bell is somewhere. Hopefully, not sewed into a pillow. Nope. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. And for those of you who are new to the channel, this was actually Lilac's bell. That's why I have a purple little handle on it, a key fob, because Angel was my lead goat. She was a little Saanen, Sanaaan. It's a miniature goat and a dairy goat. She was white, had cute little horns. She used to follow us all over the property. And she was a 4-H show goat, and she was used to traveling in cars. If you pulled up in my yard, she would jump in your car. My friends would pull up to get their quilting and stuff. She'd jump in the trunk. She would jump in the back seat, front seat, whatever, whatever. How much fabric to start a pillow? You would need 3/4 of a yard, but just get a yard, Lorraine T. And like I said earlier, you can mix and match them. It doesn't have to be the same piece. You've got lots of scrap fabric. You've got lots of fabric. Use what you have. Use what you have. You can spend your last dime on sewing. Oh, look at Nancy's, everybody. You did it. Very, very cute. Very cute. Anastasia is going to love that. Pescatarian gardener. I know that you have a sewing machine. You can make one of these. You can make how many of these? How many of these? We can have a sew along every Thursday, every Saturday, and everybody can work on whatever they want. Me, Lorraine T, because I put the handles on, I require at least 2/3 of a yard, 3/4 of a yard. If you don't use this, you can make it with a little over a half yard, but I wouldn't cut it that close. You'll end up with two sides that match and one that doesn't because it just didn't fit. Okay. Okay, so are there any questions? Nancy, everybody's saying it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can see Anastasia plopping down, sitting on that to squish it down. She's gonna make it work. And you guys, when you wash it a few times, it does get mushier. So
She'll probably use it for one of her stuffies or
what did you say?
squishmallows. She'll probably use it for one of her squishmallows.
Oh yes, yes. So pescatarian gardener says she loves it. So Nancy, to make sure that you drop your link so people can follow you and see what you're doing because you are a busy lady. You do way more. Most of you guys do more than I do. I just take it easy, a little, poca a poca, little by little, in Espanol. Poca a poca. The everyday life of an OCD-ish chick says, nice job. So wasn't
Thank
it
y'all so
fun?
much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to come up anytime. I was looking forward to it.
Oh
So,
yes, between your doctors and my doctors, and
oy vey, oy vey. If they only knew. Something I said, oy vey. I saw a lady that used to have a garden in the community garden. Haven't seen her for about 3 or 4 years. She said her husband was in a nursing home. She never thought she'd see him alive again, never see him at home. So her husband she moved out of this building because they needed a bigger place because he is a 24-hour nurse. So she wanted to talk to me and she says, "You see, my English is better." I would say maybe a third to half the people in my building are Russian. This is a Jewish community by tradition, and it was annexed to the city of New Haven for the tax basis years ago. So I was sitting and making sure that I spoke slowly so she would understand, and she did. She told me that she was a speech therapist in her country where she came from. So I'm busy. Dobre utra. Dobre utra. That's how you say hello in Russian, right? So then I went downstairs to the garden and the nurse came down with her phone. She said that her boss wanted me to put my phone number in her phone. And I said, "I remember you, Dolores, because her last name is Sevalinka, and I had her granddaughter's number in my phone because the granddaughter and the granddaughter's fiance would come and help me lift things, do things in the garden that I couldn't do for myself." So I'm dobre utra and all over the place. So then the nurse came, when she was leaving, she says, "Oh, by the way, hey, Tori Spring, thanks for coming." She goes, "I'm from the Ukraine." Ah, Ukraine versus Russia. They're not exactly amigos right now as far as the country is concerned. So then I said, "Okay, dobre ranuk." That's how you say hello in Ukrainian. Or Russian all that time. But that's just me. So, you guys, now it's time to say goodbye. This is an I in American Sign Language. This is an L. This is a U. When you get old, your fingers don't go straight. This is how you say I love you in American Sign Language. And Egawamote to all of you. Peace, love, and blessings. Thanks for coming. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hold on for a minute. I have the cutest little outro. As soon as I get my arrow down to it.